in 5-10 years time, I see myself being like an engineer.
Probably an environmentalist.
Probably dentistry.
Getting into the real estate industry.
Engineering or some sort of science degree.
The ADF as a signals or intelligence officer.
Geology or earth science.
I have absolutely no idea, but it did get me thinking, so
Today is very significant. It gives students from around the region an opportunity far beyond a work experience. They get to see some job opportunities of the future, but not only hear about it from the specialists in their field, they actually get to go out to industry and see firsthand.
Sometimes when a person is thinking about how they want to have sustainability as an ethic that informs their career, they may not realise that there's great opportunities to do that even in traditional industries. Even the mining industry or manufacturing need people who've got an eye to doing more with less, because that's a sustainable thing to do. They need people who are going to take a long-sighted view to the impact of their industry, because we want it to be there for the very long term. All of those things that feed economic sustainability can also be things that feed the environmental sense of the word.
When it comes to careers, unless you've actually had direct impact through, maybe it's one of your parents who actually do that as a role, or you've got people in your social circle who've actually been involved in that sector, there can be so many opportunities that you're actually not aware of. And events like this actually bring those to the fore and help people to be able to understand what opportunities are available to them. Just within sectors, I work for Manufacturing Skills Queensland and there are 14 subsectors. And I think that a lot of people wouldn't even classify a lot of the work that's done by manufacturing as manufacturing. So to actually be able to bring that to someone's attention and to open their eyes to the opportunities is really important. It's quite remarkable, just even in our local area, how much manufacturing is available and the depth of careers available in the sector.
So there's a really interesting point in history we are at. I'm going to land on artificial intelligence as being one of the most important shocks to the system that is going to reinvent work. We're concerned about it taking jobs and jobs being done by AI. That will happen a bit. It is possible though that it won't be AI replacing a lawyer, but the lawyer who knows how to use AI might replace the lawyer. Mostly it's about changing what's possible within a job and changing how you work. It's like it's also just taking away that barrier that used to exist for you to dive into an area of engineering. Let's say you want to be an electrical engineer. By this afternoon, you can actually be solving quite complex problems in electrical engineering by using just language commands, talking to AI. Your ability to use logic, reasoning, problem solve, and to be able to reach into these technologies and use them might get more important than a specific training in a particular area. Let's not underestimate social intelligence, emotional intelligence, communication. The things that make you human also will start to get really valuable in the world that we move into. Zoom out and have a look at the world and all the fascinating things happening. And global events can start to transmit to local opportunity and risk pretty quickly in the world that we're in. There are mega trends that are reshaping your career, your family, where you live, and what sort of future you'll have. And your ability to figure out and understand this change and then move from the global down to the local, down to your specific situation and make sense of it all, that's core to your ability to get a better future.
So the important skills I believe in the future are definitely two ends of the scale. The first is the engineering, so electrical engineering, application engineering, and the other end is creativity. So with the emergence of AI, we see skill requirements in being able to manage AI, and in order to do that, you need to be really creative to input the data to be able to get the right results. The best way to prepare is learn as much as possible. I take it back to when I started in school, we had to go to a library to learn. Now they have every piece of knowledge in the universe at their fingertips with Google. So get off TikTok watching people do stupid dances and start researching National Geographic, researching Discovery Channel, anything that you can to learn more about different industries.
Firstly, I'd say have an open mind and with a really positive attitude, because they're the key things that, will help drive your own passion and really find out what you want to do with whatever opportunities are out there. Second, I'd say, because it's changing so quick, you need to be adaptable and move with the times, move with how it's going.
Networking, sometimes people look at it as who do I know, but I like to look at networking from the point of view who knows you. So it's about getting out there and really building those connections, getting people to know you. Even me in the chair role now at Redlands Job Committee, opening new doors, creating opportunities for us in what we do as a committee.
Something I've taken out today is that AI is such a big part of our world now that it just keeps growing. And it may reduce jobs, but it also may increase jobs that don't even exist yet. I have always thought I'd go into teaching, but after listening to some of the presentations today, I realized that just because I might want to be a teacher now, there's so many possibilities out there. I could do anything I wanted.
So manufacturing, actually I did have that preconceived belief that it was dirty work, but I'm really glad that I now know that it's much more than that. Everything's manufactured and there's so much that we can do to like excel this and increase manufacturing processes but in a more sustainable way. So definitely that was great.
If I talked about our manufacturing perspective, it's heavily driven by innovation, which includes the latest technological equipment, data analysis to understand the trend, what it is. So innovation is a very big part of what we do currently. We employ 675 people, which is, after council, one of the largest employer in the region. So we have a different career path opportunities there, apprenticeship, traineeship, and internship. There is a possibilities. You don't have any experience, but business would add resources, time to train you up. So we have that opportunities at Golden Cockerel.
I really think my main takeaway from this event was actually just the uncertainty of all of these careers. A lot of the questions being asked were mainly if questions, possibilities. We don't know what we're coming into, and that's scary and exciting, and especially the rise of AI and increasingly high-tech technologies. I think that'll create very interesting careers and maybe the pathways in general.
I feel like this has really opened up that like anything you do, there's all these companies looking for all these kind of different skills. And even the fact that the biggest skill is just communicating with people, that's something I'm comfortable with. So that's pretty encouraging, that just natural human skills and then that ability to learn. What I really took away is like having a flexible idea of what you want to do and like constantly like that curiosity that they were talking about. There'll always be opportunities, and I didn't realize how many opportunities there were, things I haven't considered, you know. I think that's pretty cool.
Rather than be completely fixed on your qualifications, the jobs, the occupations that you're going into, my advice to you would be stay curious. Just because you've finished or you've graduated, whether it's school or university, the workplace that you're moving into actually needs you to stay curious. They need you to keep learning.
We brought the students and the job seekers, staff from the schools, RTOs, and also our service providers. We brought them all in to come and actually see the Redlands Research Facility. As an RJC, it's about bringing students and young job seekers into industry to hear firsthand from people who are at the cutting edge of research, technology. They're the ones who know what's going on. They're the employers for these future young ones.
We've become one of 3 smart farms around the state. So what we're trying to do now is bring a bit more technology in there to increase not just the economic sustainability, but also the environmental sustainability of the industry. So on site here, we've got quite a few things. So we've got a robotic weeder. We've also got QUT's aquatic drones. So they're small watercraft. They've got ones that will go through places like Wivenhoe Dam and they'll depth sound. They'll look for fish. They'll do water quality testing. And they'll also got ones that'll identify aquatic weeds.
We also try to produce the hydrogen from seawater. Water stress is a big thing in Australia. We try not to add to that stress, so we produce it from desalinated water. The next step would be to produce it from treated wastewater, and we've got plenty of that as well.
From this tree, we produce these pods. And inside each pod, you'll have 1 or 2 of these beans. When these beans get crushed, we get a crude oil. That crude oil can become your biodiesel fuel, or we can debitter it and it can actually become human consumption food.
We then have now come to Fly Farm. It's just amazing what they're doing and how it is shaping and shifting the way that innovation and food stocks into things like fish food, into poultry industry food. It's a real circular economy project, and it's amazing to have that here, all that innovation happening in our Redlands.
At 5 days old, they're ready to be used for waste treatment. So they eat around 5 times of their weight and turn like 10 kilograms of waste into 1 kilogram of insect protein, which we can use for food, for cosmetic, for pet food as well.
Hearing from employers direct, it's a stimulus for kids. They start thinking about the potential of what they can step into. Takeaways from today, AI, it is obviously the way of the future. But communication as a fundamental skill set that we walk into jobs with and employment with is always going to be a central component. So, you know, that human element will always remain. That's a big takeaway from today as well, I would say.
Just getting to learn like new things about what's going on in the world and having the speakers just share their experiences and everything that they know. It really helps us learn more about the world that we don't know yet. So it's been a very great experience.
I like the variety of different speakers that we had today. The manufacturing, the sustainability, just all of it was really interesting.
I really liked Toyota's hydrogen car. I found it really innovative to be able to use hydrogen to fuel cars. It's definitely something to look forward to in the future.
I found interesting today that mining is so criticized for being unsustainable, whereas I've learned that mining is such an important role in the sustainability of Australia and then also Earth in general.
You can't be what you can't see, and I love coming annually to bring as many students as we can to get real industry connections, to get up-to-date expert information. I can see all the conversations and the questions happening between industry and students behind us. Just can't put a price on it.